Hi there, Frank Kelly here, independent filmmaker. A little bit about me before we kick off. I've been making films for about 15 years. I've made 8 independent films. Quite successful in their own right, I suppose. They've travelled to festivals all around the world, won awards, been picked up sales agents and been sold to national broadcasters like RTE and Channel 4. Yeah, as I said, been making films for a little while. So a couple of years ago, Ablevision approached me and asked me to make a short film with them. This was a first for a couple of different reasons. Number one was it was the first film I'd made that wasn't my own film, that I hadn't written. And it was the first film I'd made, actually the first time I'd ever worked with people with intellectual disabilities. So I kind of jumped at the chance to do something completely different, something out of my comfort zone. And it very much was something that was out of my comfort zone because I'd never, as I said, worked with people with intellectual disabilities. So I had no idea what I was getting myself in for. So I went along, and we had a short time period to make this film. We had just 8 weeks, not much money, and so I went along to one of their group meetings. And it was about 20 people sat in a circle. Again, didn't know what to expect because I'd never worked with or even interacted much with people with intellectual disabilities. So I really didn't know what to expect, and I had no idea how I was going to make this film. Because I went in with no preconceptions and no ideas really. Like I wanted very much for the group to come up with the ideas and to make the film. And that was the whole point. I was just there to guide them through the process of making a short film. So the first couple of weeks, I kind of sat back. I introduced myself. We all went around the circle and we introduced ourselves, and I didn't say anything. I just kind of listened to the conversation and just got to know the people and found out what interested them, and I took notes and I kind of picked up on the little things that seemed to interest them. And after I got to know them and they got to know me, we started to talk about the film and ideas, and this story came out, Joe and Sarah, which was a love story, and it was about 2 characters, 2 young adults who just wanted to be together, who loved each other and wanted to move in together and just have their own independence. And it definitely seemed to be a theme that really hit home for a lot of the people in the group. And in the film, the story is that Sarah, played by Anne, Anne and Stephen were the leads. Sarah's dad is very overprotective and doesn't want her to have a relationship, doesn't want her to be outside the house. So they run away together. And the thing of it was, we actually we filmed in March that year, I think, and it was like one of the coldest Marches on record. It was absolutely freezing. And I had very cleverly decided to write the script mostly exterior because they run away, so they spend a lot of time roaming the streets. So, but the 2 guys were absolute professionals. And that was the whole thing, my experience with doing this project was that everybody was extremely professional, extremely easy to talk to deal with, to give direction to. They took direction really well, which, you know, can't say the same for some actors, but I didn't say that. Don't tell anyone I said that. So yeah, and it was just a really positive experience for me, a very constructive experience, and something I really just enjoyed doing. We would meet every week leading up to the shoot. Everybody in the group was involved in the story and how we laid it out. And then I went off and I wrote the script in a script form, came back and I read it to the guys, and they had a say in anything that needed to be changed, and they all really liked it. So then we started casting, and we put out a casting call, and I got some actors I knew in, and we went to the Dread Arts Centre, and the actors came in and they read with me, and they read with me, and the guys, the group sat in the chairs in the audience, and afterwards we talked about who we liked and who could play the role, and we cast it that way. Everybody was involved. So then we got into production. I think we had a week, maybe 5 days, 4 or 5 days. Excuse me. We had a week or 4 or 5 days to shoot the film, and we shot in the streets of Drogheda. We had a really great time. Like, it was kind of, everything just came together, and the actors who came on board were really enthusiastic about it. And I think at the end of it, what came out of it was just that was a really, really positive experience for everybody involved. And everyone who got to the end of it said they would absolutely do it again. So I went off and I edited the film, and then we premiered it at the Ablevision Film Festival at the Drogheda Arts Centre. And I was involved in that as well, because I gave a lecture on filmmaking. I talked about how you could make a short film for very little money to another group. And that was a great experience. And then that night we had the premiere, and that was fantastic. It was a full house. They screened, I think, 5 other short films from around the country, and just a brilliantly positive vibe. I remember it was the most I've ever been applauded in my life, because every time my name was mentioned, Stephen was sitting right beside me and he would start clapping, and then everyone would join in. This happened about 5 times. So I kind of had to tell Orla Carmody, stop mentioning my name, so we could get on with the proceedings. But we showed the film, had a brilliant reaction, a little Q&A afterwards. People were coming up to me for an hour talking about the film, and I just kept talking about how positive an experience it was. The whole journey of it was fantastic, and we were kind of raring to go to do the next one. I left, unfortunately I emigrated, so I'm actually living in California right now, so I didn't get the chance. But I did recommend another filmmaker friend to go and do the next film, and he came back to me and he said the same thing. He had a brilliant experience. Same with another filmmaker friend of mine. I recommended him for a project in Dundalk, and same thing. He came back and said it was the most positive filmmaking experience of his career. And today it has been mine as well, and I would absolutely do it again. I would recommend any other filmmaker to get involved in a similar project, or with Ablevision directly. I went on Facebook the next day and I said, don't wait for them to come to you, seek them out, go to your local communities, walk in and say, hey, can I make a film with you guys? And they will probably jump at the chance, and you will have an amazing experience because of it. So yeah, so for me, and it was great when the film was done. It was great to see it get out and get into film festivals and get out around the world. I think it's still out there, and it's certainly available online. And I still get very positive comments about it, and people who watch it for the first time get in touch and say what a wonderful little film it is. And it's one I'm really proud of, and I'm really proud of all the guys who made the film with me, and I'm really thankful to Ablevision for reaching out to me and asking me to do something I probably never would have done on my own. So yeah, great experience. Thank you, Ablevision. Absolutely, get involved with Ablevision and help them continue what they're doing. It's a brilliant, brilliant thing, and I would definitely recommend any filmmaker out there to do a project like this. So thanks for listening, and hope to see you all again soon.